Hi guys, Link from Gardening Express here, and today I just wanted to show you a few types of bulbs and the differences between them. Let's take a look. So here we've got a variety of spring bulbs that we sell, and it's really good to take a look at the different sizes, colours and shapes that they all kind of come in. So what we've got here in this one is a tulip bulb. This is the Texas Flame variety, which is a later blooming spring bulb. I kind of find that the colours of these look almost like conkers. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Very oddly shaped conkers, but still. They come quite brown with this sort of flaky, papery skin, as most bulbs do, but the colour is really rich and dark. Now, we've also got some daffodils. So this is the Magic Charm variety. This is obviously a regular sized daffodil, but this is fantastic. They're quite large, especially compared to tulips, which we know end up being quite a lot taller than daffodils. But you can see they've got very papery skin. They've got a lot of sort of fluff almost at the bottom. And they come sort of almost like a pear really, which is really interesting. And then what we've got over here, these are alliums. This is an allium summer drummer variety. And the way you can kind of tell almost with this is that it looks very, very much like an onion. And that is because alliums are part of the onion family. They're an ornamental onion. So it's very interesting to see that they do obviously look like onions. Maybe not quite taste like onions though. Which is again, another thing I find very interesting about this is that they're quite small. But these grow huge. I mean, they're one of the tallest sort of spring bulbs that you can get. And they have these very large globe flowers, especially compared to, if you look at the size of a much smaller breed of flower, which is the daffodil. Now, moving over here, we have the hyacinth. These almost look a bit like red onions compared to these ones, but this is the Paul Herman variety. And again, this is again a very similar size to the alliums, but again, a much, much smaller plant. But these will flower a beautiful sort of purple, pinkish colour, and they're very, very fragrant as well, which is fantastic. So what we have over here as well is a Muscari bulb. Now, these are probably more within their size, if that makes sense. A Muscari is a much smaller variety of sort of spring flower, and these come as very long, tall stems with little sort of blueberry shaped blossoms, sort of lots of little balls at the top, and these come in a lovely rich blue colour. They can come in sort of purples and pinks and whites as well. Over here we've got more of the smaller varieties, which is a crocus. Now this is a ruby giant, which you would almost not necessarily assume that because of the word giant, and that is not very giant. But it is a rather large variety of the crocus. These come in a beautiful glowing purple colour, and these are one of the very first spring flowers to pop up. So this is a very early spring flower. So this is great to be sort of planting if you want to see something sort of around February time. So that's fantastic. I mean, all of these, if we pan out here, we have sort of our earlier varieties here, and then we've got our sort of mid-season varieties here, although that's saying these are later versions. Allium is also a late spring variety, and then you've got Muscari here again, which is a smaller one, which is actually a mid-season variety. So you've got a good section here that if you combined these bulbs in a flower bed, you would have a good flowering season throughout all of spring, which is fantastic. I just thought I'd like to show you a few different sizes, a few different shapes, and how they come really, because we see bulbs and we kind of make an assumption sometimes that they look maybe more like this, but actually they come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. So that's all from me. Go get planting.